My name is Raihan Hidayat, and this is my video of Project 1, Part 1 for the subject Classroom Management. And in this Part 1, I choose the material of the topic Causes of Classroom Conflict. Okay, before we jump into the main topic, we have to know first what is visible classroom. A visible classroom is a classroom where students and teachers work together in a positive and respectful way. It is not only a place for learning subjects, but also a place where students feel safe, supported, and comfortable. In this type of classroom, learning becomes more effective because students feel valued and respected. Next, here are the qualities of flexible classroom. First, we have cooperation, communication, tolerance, positive emotional expressions, and conflict resolutions. Okay, next we have cooperation. Cooperation means students work together instead of competing against each other. They learn to trust, help, and share with their classmates. Where students cooperate, they become more supportive and conflicts can be reduced. Communication is the ability to express ideas clearly and listen to others carefully. Students must learn how to speak politely and understand others' opinions. Good communication helps prevent misunderstandings that can lead to conflict. Next, we have tolerance and positive emotional expressions. Tolerance means respecting differences among students. These differences may include culture, race, religion, or personality. When students accept differences, they create a friendly environment and reduce discrimination and bullying. Students often feel emotions like anger or frustration. In a visible classroom, students learn how to express these emotions in a calm and respectful way. They also learn self control so that their emotions do not harm others. Last, conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is the ability to solve problems peacefully instead of fighting and blaming others. Students learn to discuss problems and find solutions together. This skill is very important in maintaining harmony in the classroom. Next, causes of classroom conflict. Classroom conflicts usually do not happen without reason. Many conflicts are caused by deeper problems in the classroom environment. These problems can be grouped into six main categories. They are competitive atmosphere, intolerant atmosphere, poor communication, inappropriate expressions of emotions, lack of conflict resolution skills, misuse of power by teachers. Competitive atmosphere happens when students focus too much on winning rather than learning. Students may feel pressure to be the best, which can create jealousy and rivalry. Conflict occurs when students compete too much. Everyone works for themselves, lack of group work skills, fear of losing self esteem, lack of trust, and competition happens at wrong time. Next, we have intolerant atmosphere. An intolerant atmosphere is an unfriendly environment where students do not respect differences. Students may form small exclusive groups or bully others who are different. This situation creates isolation and increases conflict. The conflicts occurs when formation of cliques, scapegoating happens, intolerance of racial or cultural differences, lack of peer support, feelings of loneliness, and jealousy of others. Next, poor communication. Poor communication happens when students cannot express their feelings or do not listen to others. Misunderstandings often happen because messages are unclear. When students are afraid to speak or unable to listen properly, conflicts easily develop. Conflict occurs when students cannot express needs, students are afraid to speak, students cannot listen properly, students misunderstand others, and lack of observation skill. Next, we have inappropriate expression of emotions. Conflicts can become worse when students express emotions in unhealthy ways. Some students may suppress their emotions while others may react aggressively. And the conflict increases when students are unaware of their feelings, cannot express anger properly, suppress emotions, and lack self control. Next, we have lack of resolution skills. Some students do not know how to solve conflicts peacefully. They may respond with anger or violence because they lack proper skills. Teaching conflict resolution strategies helps students manage disagreements more effectively. And the conflict increases when students do not know how to solve problems. Teachers lack conflict handling skills. Aggressive behavior is rewarded. Violence becomes model behavior. Next, we have misuse of power by teachers. Teachers also play an important role in classroom conflict. If teachers set unrealistic expectations, use strict rules, or create fear, students may feel frustrated and stressed. A supportive teaching style helps reduce conflict. And the conflicts occurs when teachers set unrealistic expectations, create too many rigid rules, use authoritarian power, and create fear and mistrust. Next, we have to know how to identifying classroom problems. The teachers need to evaluate their classroom regularly. They should check whether classroom arrangement, rules, and teaching methods are effective. Early detection of problems help prevent small issues from becoming a serious conflict. And here are the questions to identify the cause of the classroom problem. First, we have, is the classroom arrangement causing problems? Are rules and procedures are clear? Are instructions clearly understood? Are consequences appropriate? And is misbehavior detected early? Okay, so conclusion. The conclusion is, if classroom conflicts are not handled properly, they can disrupt learning and create negative feelings among students. However, by understanding the causes and promoting peaceable classroom qualities, teachers can create a positive and productive learning environment. Okay, so that's it for my project one and project one part one, the first video. Next, we continue to the part two for the case study. So this is the video of project one, part two for subject classroom management. And in this part two, I have to solve the problems that is given. Okay, first we have the problem one. The problem is Mr. Eliezer repeatedly had problems when leading a class discussion with his junior high school students. No matter how involved in the topic the students were, there were usually several students sitting in the back who would talk, shout out silly answers, and play with objects they had brought from home. So, this is the problem description. Mr. Eliezer faces difficulties in managing classroom discussions, where several students at the back frequently talk, shout out inappropriate answers, and play with objects. This disrupts the learning process and reduces the effectiveness of the discussion. So, the causes of this problem is the issue is mainly caused by weak classroom management and poor classroom organization. There are no clearly established rules and routines, allowing students to behave freely without consequences. In addition, the teaching method does not actively engage all students, especially those seated at the back. From the perspective of classroom organization, the seating arrangement and lack of supervision also contribute to the problem, as disengaged students tend to misbehave. So, the solution is Mr. Eleazar should establish clear rules and routines to define acceptable behavior. He should also reorganize the seating arrangement to ensure better supervision and participation, using more interactive teaching methods such as group discussions and student-centered activities can increase engagement. Furthermore, applying effective communication strategies such as maintaining eye contact and involving all students will help create a more controlled and productive classroom environment. Next, we jump to the problem two. So the problem is Zefano was one of the most provocative and disruptive students Miss Giandra had ever taught. Throughout class, he continuously talked to girls and teased students sitting near him. He made inappropriate and sarcastic remarks in response to almost anything Miss Giandra said. When confronted by her, Zefano grinned charmingly and responded with exaggerated coarsely, to the delight of the other student. Here's the problem description. Stefano is a highly disruptive student who frequently talks during class, teases his classmate, and makes sarcastic remarks. His behavior often entertains other students, making the classroom environment less focused and more chaotic. Here's the causes. Stefano's behavior is likely driven by a desire for attention and peer approval. His classmates' reactions reinforce his actions, encouraging him to continue. Additionally, the teacher's response appears to be reactive rather than proactive, which may unintentionally strengthen his behavior. From a communication perspective, direct confrontation in front of the class may increase his motivation to perform and gain attention. So, the solution is the teacher should avoid reacting emotionally and instead remain calm and consistent. Using descriptive language rather than judgmental statement will help address the behavior without attacking the student personality. It is also important to speak with Zefano privately to understand his motivations and guide him toward positive behavior. Giving him responsibilities such as leading group activities can redirect his energy constructively. Consistent rules and encouragement of cooperative behavior will further reduce disruptions. For the last problem is Miss Hezekiah was concerned about the frequent teasing that had begun in her class. It reached the point where there was constant bickering among the students. They became so angry, began yelling, shouting, and shoving one another during class. So here's the problem description. Mr. Hezekiah classroom is experiencing frequent teasing, arguments, and even physical aggression among students. The situation has escalated to constant conflict, disrupting the learning environment. The causes of the problem is this problem rooted in a negative classroom climate characterized by intolerance, poor communication, and lack of conflict resolution skills. Students are unable to express their emotions appropriately and often misunderstand each other, leading to conflict. The absence of clear behavioral expectations and guidance further contributes to the escalation of aggressive behavior. So, the solution to solve this problem is Miss Yeskiela should focus on creating a peaceable classroom environment that emphasizes cooperation, tolerance, and effective communication. Teaching students how to manage their emotion and resolve conflicts constructively is essential. Encouraging teamwork instead of competition can reduce hostility among students. Additionally, establishing clear rules and consistently addressing inappropriate behavior early will help prevent conflicts from escalating. Through these strategies, the classroom can become a more supportive and respectful learning environment. So, that's all for my video of Project 1 Part 2 for the subject of classroom management. My name is Muhammad Hidayat, and thanks for watching.